Welcome into Cricket Safari and match number 2 of the DP World ILT20. The superstars were out tonight. This one in particular, David Warner made his debut in the tournament, season 2, and Shah Rukh Khan, who could have missed him? What a superstar he is. The crowd was loving it. We had a great crowd in here at Dubai Cricket Stadium, and didn't they love seeing him? But it was a night for the Dubai Capitals, picking up their first win of the tournament. An interesting matchup, plenty of stars, as I said, showing their wares tonight. Trent Boult for the MI Emirates doing a great job there, and a couple of superstars from the Capitals, one of which we actually have along sideline with us. Very happy to have Rovman Powell, Natalie Germanos and Jason Holder, who did so well with the ball tonight. Welcome, congratulations. That must have been nice to start off with a win.
Yeah, a proper start to the tournament. We couldn't ask for anything better. I think we started well as a unit with the ball, with the wicket in the second over. Yeah, we got a little tap in the back end of the power play, but we were able to just pull back the game quite nicely.
So there's been a lot of talk about your new captain. He's arrived, he's here in town, and he's made his debut in the tournament. What was it like when he entered the dressing room tonight? Because he's only been here for 24 hours.
We were looking for a helicopter, but we didn't get it. But I mean, it's great to have him, man. He's such a great guy. Obviously an aggressive player, one that, brings people into the stand. So he's obviously a household name, and, it's great to have him here. He didn't fire tonight, but I'm sure he'll fire in the next couple of games.
He didn't fire tonight, Rohan. He'll be disappointed about that, but you could see he made an impact. He was very lively in the field and very proactive as a captain, I thought.
Yeah, and just the energy he brings when he's out there in the field as a captain, as a leader. We saw early in the piece he had that direct hit while feeling that little pick up and throw, so setting the example right there. So that's what you want from your captain, what you want from your leader. I think the good point and the good part from the captain's point of view is that even though he didn't get runs, and we know he will, he's too good a player to miss out. Even though he didn't get runs, they won so comfortably. And I think that's a big, big positive.
We talked earlier before the game started that Boult-Warner matchup would be interesting, Nat, but I thought Warner looked very calm, even when he came out to bat, when he went out for one. He would have been disappointed with that, but he didn't look rattled at all by it.
Yeah, I think, and Rowan actually mentioned the word energy and what he brings. He did say that before the game. He said in training he wants energy from the players, and whether it be in training, whether it be at warm-ups, whether it actually be out on the field while they're playing. And I think the thing that I love about him the most is that he shows it himself. So he sets that example. And Jason knows as a captain how important it is to set that example. It can be really tough at times because you go through tough times, but Warner somehow finds that energy all the time, even in the toughest situations.
And when you are out there in the field and you see those moments where, he's running, he's frantically running, he hits the stumps or whatever, that can sometimes just lift the side a little bit more if you need it.
Well, he always speaks about that infectious attitude. Attitude is a big thing for him, and he sets the tone with that. He's very energetic in field. He throws his body around, and I think it's something you need from a leader. Just to lead by example, and that gives sense of energy throughout the entire group. So, no better guy to have in the field. He's very experienced as well too, and the small things we always talk about, that really matter, and energy is one.
Energy is, and there was plenty of energy in the crowd tonight. Shah Rukh Khan we saw there, and you could see the crowd just loving every time he popped up on the big screen, getting into it. Rohan, he is such a superstar.
Well, I'll tell you how big a superstar he is. When the one season I played in the IPL, I had a few offers, but what swinged it my way to go to KKR was a call from Shah Rukh Khan. And he said, "Ro, we want you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in. That's all. You had me at Ro." That's all he had to say. And he is just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So humble, even though he's been so successful, one of the most successful movie stars in the world, but just a fabulous bloke.
So he got the crowd going tonight, and he got him moving from Mumbai. That's quite something.
He's a mover and a shaker, there is no doubt about it. Jason, when you saw him up on the big screens, you didn't think about joining in, bit of a boogie there with him?
I didn't see him. I just heard the crowd keeping a lot of noise, trying to figure out who they were actually keeping noise for, but then I saw the big man himself. I had the honor and privilege to play for KKR as well too, and I met him in person, so everything Rohan spoke about, is actually very accurate, and he's such a humble guy, and I guess it's really good to have him here.
Yeah, it's great to have him here again for the second season. Now let's talk about your performance, speaking of superstars, with the ball tonight. 3 wickets for you. You must have been really pleased with that, because when you come to a tournament like this, a lot of hype around it, and straight away you perform.
Yeah, it was good to get a new ball wicket. I think it's very important when you get a new ball in hand to strike early. That's something I pride myself on if I'm going in the power play, just to get some new ball wickets. And obviously it stems the flow runs and it actually gets you into the game quite well. So yeah, it was good to get a new ball wicket. Sam obviously took an outstanding catch to help lift the momentum as well for the team. And then in the middle phase is just more or less coming in, trying to pick wickets and also keep the run flow down. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the performance. Probably a tad bit expensive for my liking, but hopefully in the next couple of games I could tighten up.
It's only the first game. Take it easy on yourself. Let's take a look at that Sam Billings catch, because it was truly spectacular. You must have been very, very pleased with him.
No, at one stage I was going to ask if he wasn't going to move. You know, it looked like he was a little iffy at the start, but yeah, he had to judge it, and it was quite a lovely catch.
Well, and it tells you how good the catch is that the fielder at point was actually running towards third. He said, listen, this is getting past Sam, and I'm going to try and save it from getting to the fence. So he was running towards third. Well, that tells you how good a catch this was.
Would you have taken that?
No. not if there were four of me. And probably not even if it came straight to me. Forget about diving to my right. If it came straight to me also, I'd probably move the other way and no.
I don't believe you for a second. Let's talk about Sikandar Raza, also bowled very, very well tonight. Great to have another a partner doing the job at the other end.
Yeah, outstanding. He brought us back in the game. You know, I thought his spell, 4 overs on the trot, really set the tone for us. We were obviously going against the run of play in terms of the run rate, and you know, he was able to not only stem the flow runs, but got some crucial wickets for us. You know, that last wicket of Nicholas was actually extremely crucial, because I could see Nicholas really trying to lay a platform to really explode at the back end. So it was really good that he got that wicket for us. I think it was really important, and it put more pressure on Tim David, trying to be the anchor and still trying to hit as many boundaries as he possibly can.
And that was a really special ball as well to get rid of Nicholas Pooran. Nicholas Pooran, you know, is one of the best T20 batters going around.
Definitely.
A special ball it was. Sikandar Raza's had an amazing couple of years, hasn't he, in his career? It's kind of just exploded, and these opportunities are quite special, I would imagine, for him.
No, definitely. I just asked him how old he was in the dressing room. I didn't even realize he was that old. But no, he's still looking very young. He's still obviously very vibrant, and his performances actually speak for itself. You know, I think he's been mentioned, or he has been the T20 Cricketer of the Year, so that says a lot about him and his character. And he's also a leader in the dressing room, so I mean, it's great to have him in the group, and you know, hopefully he can continue to lead us in this charge.
We go from... Oh, sorry, you go.
Remind me to never tell Jason my age. Sikandar Raza that old.
I didn't mention age. I didn't realize he was that old.
Well, I'm very young. And speaking of very young tonight, Fraser-McGurk, a name that a lot of people are starting to take notice of. And I think we saw a little bit of why tonight. What did you make of his performance with the bat?
He was outstanding. He's obviously been in a rich vein of form, coming from the big bash. You know, I think the wicket suited him as well too. And he was able to get in early and, you know, obviously keep the tempo of the innings going. And that's his style of play. You know, I played against him a couple of years back when I played big bash. And he's obviously grown a lot more in terms of his performances, and he's looked a lot more mature as well too. So it wasn't only just hitting, you know, he was able to compose himself and really, you know, put the innings together.
And that's the thing, isn't it, Nat? It's not just about composure, it's the decision making when you're out there as well, and it looks like he has learned a bit from his experience over the last few years.
And he's so young. He's just
21
years of age. 21 years of age. When you look at the year that he's born in, you start thinking...
What does that make it the year that he was born?
Oh, don't say it, don't say it.
After 2000, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in the 2000s.
Gross. He doesn't know what a Tamagotchi is. Oh, no. Oh, no. It is young. Oh, dear. But the confidence that comes with youth as well.
Yeah, and you know, he's had a lot of experience around the world. You did mention, obviously, Big Bash a couple of years ago, but he also played at the Under-19 World Cup in 2020, so it wasn't even the recent one. Wow. In South Africa, he was already part of that. So it just shows you they'd obviously spotted a talent. I mean, you can see he's talented. They'd spotted it and pushed him through, and even though there was a little issue with the monkey on the tour, there was a little issue where he was feeding a monkey and got scratched, and he had to actually go home early. Bit of an interesting story and an interesting start to his international career, but the fact that they saw something special in him that young and have now pushed him through, and obviously he's got experience already. He's a hot ticket for Australia.
I hope he writes a book and we find out exactly what happened with that monkey. But Gurbaz batted very well tonight. Rohan, what did you like about his performance?
Well, I think it was just his confidence. We've seen Gurbaz do this in the past. He's got that shot-making ability. He plays in leagues all around the world. He's got that T20 experience, and sometimes you just want to get off to a good start. He scored 100 just 3 weeks ago. I think on a really quick 100 just 3 weeks ago. So he's obviously in a rich vein of form, and he's brought that to the crease. Again, when you're chasing a score of about 160, sometimes it can be a tricky chase, because that in-between score where you don't know whether you've got to go in 4th and 5th gear, or do you build an innings. But with just the way Jake and Gurbaz batted, the result was never in doubt.
No, and did you feel like that while you were out there? Was the result ever in doubt?
Never a doubt for me, you know. I was just sat on the inside, eating some food, you know, watching it on TV, and it was wonderful to watch, man. It was just good composed hitting, and these guys picked the areas, picked the bowlers, and, you know, they executed. It's just really important, especially when you're chasing a relatively smallish total, you know, to just not, you know, leave it too late. I felt they got ahead of the game, and we stayed ahead of the game.
Absolutely. Hey, well, congratulations. A great start to the tournament. Great to have you with us here tonight. Congratulations on your 3 wickets.
Thank you.
All the best for the rest of the tournament. We're actually going to go inside the Capitals camp, and we did that before this tournament started.
Stop press. There's a shaitan coming to town. The Dubai Capitals are all set for a new season, spearheaded by Aussie superstar David Warner.
And we felt that we needed a strong personality in David, and he adds a lot of value. The person that he is, he brings in a lot of energy, he brings in a lot of intensity, and he's been somebody who's done that for many years, and looking forward to another year with him with that passion and intensity.
Warner may be the big name signing, but he's far from being the only star in the team. New this year is West Indies bowling all-rounder Jason Holder.
I like winning. I think the easiest thing for me to say at this present time is to win this competition, to help my team, or to do the best I possibly can to help my team win this competition. It's not a one-man show by any means, but I think each player has a role to play, and it's very important that each player understands their role and execute their role. So for me, it's more or less understanding what's expected of me in terms of my role and executing that to the best of my ability to give my team the best shot at winning this competition.
Also in the side is the tenacious South African Dutchman, Roelof van der Merwe.
I work pretty well with what I've got. You know, I'm not a massive turner of the ball. I'm not the best batter in the world, but I try with what I have to make the best of it, and I think that's a massive self-awareness thing, and I don't try to build myself up to be a world beater. So you know, that also takes a bit of pressure off.
And back again is one of last year's highest run getters, Season 1 skipper Rovman Powell.
It's always good to try to go one better than you did last year, you know. And, I've done some extensive work behind the scenes, so hopefully in this competition I can show those work.
With plenty of exciting players on their roster, the Capitals will be looking to give their home fans in Dubai a season to remember.
Yeah, they had a mixed season, I'd say, in Season 1. From what you saw tonight, Nat, are they sort of looking good in this tournament? I know it's early days, it is the first game, but in terms of a complete performance, which we didn't often see from the last season, high hopes?
Last season was interesting. As you say, mixed. And mixed for a few reasons. They changed leadership sort of in the middle of the tournament, but they also had some excellent performances as well. Rovman Powell himself was brilliant with the bat last year, but they definitely had sort of a mixed season and maybe underperformed from what we probably expected. When you looked at the side now and who they've sort of brought in as well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they go. I thought they were very organised tonight.
Well, the one thing you know for sure is that they're not going to change leadership in the middle of the tournament like they did last year. So that's a good start. That's a good start. You know, you've got a set leadership group that's going to take you through. Plus, the additions they've made, I think they're looking good for the tournament.
I want just quickly your picks for the tournament on paper. Now, the Golf Giants coach, Andy Flower, described the Golf Giants as not being the sexiest team on paper in Season 1, but they got the job done. So for you guys at the moment, sexiest team on paper that looks like it could lift that trophy very quickly, who would it be?
On paper, I like the look of Sharjah Warriors, but I have been terrible with predictions of late, I'm just saying.
Can you please not pick them, Nat, Rohan, for you?
Well, I'm going to go with the Golf Giants.
Oh, yeah.
I
see what you've done. I see what you've done.
No, listen, from the 4 teams that we've seen so far, I think Golf Giants would be my pick.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. We love that. Right. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at MI Emirates' performance tonight. And we'll take another look at what's coming up in the DP World ILT20 on Sunday. It's going to be a big one. Welcome back to Cricket Safari, wherever you're enjoying us, India on Z and around the world. What a great second matchup it has been, especially if you are cheering on the Dubai Capitals. A big Bollywood superstar in the audience tonight, Shah Rukh Khan. The MI Emirates, though, not A big Bollywood performance from them. They'll be very disappointed with their start to this campaign. I am joined by Niall O'Brien now, Rowan Gavaskar still alongside me. And Niall, if you're MI Emirates, you'll be feeling pretty gutted, I imagine, by that, because that is not how they wanted to start this tournament.
Yeah, very flat. Flat performance, really. They never really got going. They had a wonderful power play. Nicholas Poran said in post-match, great power play, 75 for 1. You cannot ask for a better start. And you get that start, you want to keep the momentum and get a massive score. Because I think, Ro, when you're batting first here, you know chasing is so favourable. Yeah. So you almost have to get 20 more than par. Par is 166 after 15 games in season 1. So straight away, you're thinking you need 186. So they put themselves under a little bit of pressure. They just didn't get the skills right. Nicholas Poran said before the game, we have to execute our skills. They didn't.
No, they didn't, and they'll know that absolutely. But do you think that they looked, I thought they even looked a bit flat coming off the field, and I can't imagine what they'll be saying in the changing room right now. Can you, Ron?
Well, I think they've got a game coming up tomorrow, so they'll be saying, listen, let's park this defeat and forget about it. Let's just focus on what we've got to do tomorrow. We've got a few positives, especially the power play, one of the best power plays they've had. Let's focus on how from being 75. They're not going to get to 75 in every power play. But if they get to 55, 60, how can we get to about 170, 180? I think that's what they'll be focusing on. Again, like I said, it's the sort of collapse that they had. You're not going to see that too often in T20 cricket. So they'll be saying, listen, this was really a one-off. Hopefully a one-off.
Yeah, there'll be fingers crossed for that. But I guess that's what happens sometimes in T20 cricket. You can have those one-off things. But one positive would have to be UAE player Mohammad Wasim tonight. His performance with the bat was pretty good.
Yeah, and anyone that knows Mohammad Wasim knows exactly what he can do. He's tall, he's 6'3", 6'4". He's very well built. He's strong and he's powerful. He's uncomplicated. He just puts his foot down that fourth stump line outside the line of leg stump and just hits through the line of the ball. It's uncomplicated. I would like to say it's quite easy, but it's not. But he makes it look easy. He's an excellent player. I've seen him do it at international level many times to my beloved Ireland. He did it last year at the ILT20. He just needed a bit more support. He got to 50 today out 25 balls, and I was on commentary. He has to kick on because he was batting with Nicholas Poran. And you could just see Poran say, listen, you've got to just kick on here. You've got to stay a bit longer, and he got out straight after.
That's the thing we saw with the Shah Warriors. It's all about that you need someone to kick on when you get that good start, right?
And I think that could have been the turning point of this game, Mohammad Wasim's dismissal, because Nobby's absolutely right. You've got that one player to kick on if you're going to get to that 180, 190 mark. They did get to 160, largely due to the start they got. But if Mohammad Wasim had gone on, starting at about 100, if he gets to about 75, 80, it just sort of makes that latter half of the innings a little bit easier for all his teammates around him.
Let's take a look at the match summary from tonight's game. The Dubai Capitals taking the points, doing a great job to start their campaign, looking a little better than they finished off their last campaign here at the DP World ILT20. We talked actually, Niall, you and I at the start about that matchup between Warner and Trent Boult. I mean, speaking of positives, MI Emirates, Trent Boult will walk off thinking, thank goodness I got that.
That was sensational. Just left arm swing bowling, a little bit like a test match, really. Just think of a great test match morning. You win the toss in the green conditions, overcast, pitch the ball up, swing the ball away. He was all over David Warner. I thought David Warner was a little bit tentative, truth be told. I don't think he was nervous, but I think he gave Trent Boult a little bit too much respect.
Okay. What do you think, Rohan?
Well, you know, what the numbers suggest is that he's always a little circumspect against Trent Boult. His strike rate against Trent Boult is about 100, 102. Hasn't gone out too often to him. This was only the third time that Trent Boult dismissed him, but he's always a little bit circumspect. As Nobby says, maybe a little bit too much respect.
Okay, well, that should be maybe an interesting matchup we see again. So that was game 2. There's plenty more cricket coming up for you in the DP World ILT20. It is a Super Sunday, 2 matches tomorrow. It is the Desert Vipers taking on the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, and that is from 4 o'clock here at Dubai Indian Standard Time here at Dubai International Stadium. And then the second matchup on your Super Sunday over in Abu Dhabi, and that is MI Emirates again. So they'll have to park this result. They're taking on the defending champs, the Golf Giants, which will be a very interesting matchup to see how they bounce back for that. Let's talk about Alex Hales. He likes playing at this ground. We watched in season 1 him score 100 here, a great 100. He had a very successful campaign, and he'll be chomping at the bit to get back out, I imagine.
He will. He's, box office. He's one of the best T20 players in the world. He's a World Cup winner with England. He's powerful. He's elegant on the eye, hits nicely through the ball, and he found some good form at the back end of his cricket down in Australia. He entertained us brilliantly last year. But last year, one thing Alex Hales did do, he fell away at the back end. So he'll be hoping if he can get that start again, just to kick on. Because last year he was eyeing up maybe 700-800 runs at one stage.
Yeah, I think after 4 or 5 games, he was right up there, 400 or 500 runs or something like that. Some ridiculous number of runs after the first 4 or 5 games. But as you rightly said, Nobby just sort of tailed away towards the latter half. And he and his team will be hoping that that doesn't happen in this year's edition.
So the Vipers obviously were the runners-up in season 1. Now, how do they sort of pick up where they left off but go one better this time? What do they need to do? Because there's been a few personnel change in there, but at the most, at its core, pretty similar side.
Yeah, similar side, but I reckon they've added some real quality. You know, they've brought in the likes of Shah Afridi. We're not going to probably see him. I think he's probably still got some cricket in New Zealand to play, but they've brought in 4 or 5 top quality players. You know, because Tom Moody and the coaches James Foster and Carl Crowe, they accepted, listen, we've got a really good side. We were pretty close to winning it last year. We don't need much refining. They let a couple of people go. They let Sam Billings go, for example. They brought in Azam Khan, one of the cleanest strikers of a cricket ball you'll ever see. Forget about this Fraser-McGurk and Rahmanullah Gurbaz. You wait, you see Azam Khan if he gets going. So they've brought in some qualities. They won't need much. They are a top-class side.
In terms of their leadership, one of the more understated superstars in this tournament, I think, is Colin Munro. He applies his trade around the world so well. He's got a level of consistency in this game that's pretty unmatched, actually. He's done a great job, and he's going to be key for them this season, isn't he?
Well, and a level of calm. You spoke about a level of consistency, but he also seems like a really calm player out there. And as a leader, that's what you want. Again, he said Azam Khan. I think I'm a huge fan of Azam Khan. I think with the additions they've got, with Colin Munro, I beg your pardon, over there, they will be a force to reckon with.
Now, forces to be reckoned with Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, with all due respect, were not that last season. It was a very challenging season for them, but you know that they won't come out there the same. They will have learnt from their mistakes, and Andre Russell is going to be key to their success, isn't he?
Well, he's going to have to be. He is a globe-trotting superstar, has been for a long, long time in this purple and gold. You think of Knight Riders all around the world, you think of Dre Russ. Probably the cleanest striker of the ball the world has seen for a very long time. And very effective bowler. Last year, to put it mildly, was shocking. They just never got going. They got a couple of games.
What do you say about me when I'm not around? To put it mildly, shocking.
It was, because I remember last year, the plethora of players they had, and the fielding, that's whatever about bowling and batting going wrong, the fielding was awful. And I got so much stick on social media from Knight Riders fans all around the world. What have you got against Knight Riders? I've got nothing against Knight Riders. I love the Knight Riders, but they've got to do a lot better.
Yeah, they do have to do a lot better, and it was sort of it was a bizarre thing, because on paper that team, there's some absolute superstars, and it just couldn't put a complete performance together, Rohan.
Yeah, what do you think? You've got Sunil Narayan over there, who's been an absolute superstar in T20 cricket over the last 10 years. Then you've got someone like Dre Russ, 2 match winners. And then I think, for the first 4 or 5 games, just couldn't get a win. Just couldn't buy a win. It was just one of those bizarre situations in this tournament where you thought ADKR, at the start of the season tournament, I thought they were my favourites with the team that they had. But, well, listen.
Yeah, but you thought your favourites lost today.
Okay,
listen, I was waiting for Nobby to rub it in. I was waiting for Nobby to rub it in.
For the commentators as well, who they're going to pick. Right, that is it from us here tonight at Dubai International Stadium. We'll be back tomorrow for more DP World ILT20. We'll see you then.